Let us see the next question. An Indian company obtains the following quotations rupees per dollar. Spot exchange rate is given, 3 months forward exchange rate is given, and 6 months forward exchange rate is given. The company need dollar funds for 6 months. Determine whether the company should borrow in dollar currency or should borrow in rupee currency. Interest rates are as under. For 3 months, interest rates are given for rupee currency and dollar currency. 6 months interest rates are given for rupee currency and dollar currency. Also determine what should be the rate of interest after 3 months to make the company indifferent between 3 months borrowing and 6 months borrowing in case of rupee currency and in case of dollar currency. Note, for the purpose of calculation, you can take units of the dollar and rupee as 100 each. That is the question. So over here basically there are two questions provided to us. This is the first part of the question and this is the second part of the question. I want you to calculate the answer of the first part of the question. So friends, over here we are required to decide that from where we should borrow. The question says that we have to borrow an amount of $100. So basically we have two options for the purpose of borrowing. Understand it carefully. Either you can borrow in rupee currency or otherwise you may borrow in dollar currency. Suppose you borrow in rupee currency, then in that case we understand borrow rupees, sell rupees, purchase dollar. You use the amount as you want, and so the repayment of the loan will be in your own currency, so there is no foreign exchange risk. We have been provided with the information that the spot exchange rate is 35.90 slash 36.10 rupees per dollar. That is the spot exchange rate. So sell of rupees and purchase of dollar. So this is the rate which is applicable. So 36.1 into 100. So that comes to rupees 3610 is the amount that you will borrow. You will borrow an amount of rupees 3610. Whatever the amount that you have borrowed is for a time period of 6 months. Okay. So for a time period of the 6 months, for rupee currency the rate of interest is provided as 11.5%. Don't write anything, let me explain to you. So the answer of the question will be 3610 into 0.115 divided by 2, 5.75%. So 1.0575. That comes to 3817.575. This is the amount of the repayment of loan in rupee currency. Now suppose you borrow dollar currency. That is, you borrow in dollar currency. So what will happen? The rate of interest is going to be for 6 months 5.5%. So 100 plus 100 into 5.5% into 1 by 2. This is the repayment of the loan in dollar currency. Of course, you will enter into the forward contract for conversion of the rupees into dollar. As far as the 6 months is concerned, the forward exchange rate is provided to us. Sell of rupees and purchase of dollar. So this is the rate applicable, 36.4. because by paying more amount of rupees you can get a dollar. 100 into 5.5% divided by 2. So 2.75 plus 100, that comes to 102.75 into 36.4. So that comes to 3740.10. This is the amount of the repayment of loan that you will have. You will go for an option which is cheaper. So let us answer the question. Indian company can borrow either in rupees term or in dollar term. Full stop. Option number 1, borrow in rupees. Spot exchange rate 35.90 slash 36.10 rupees per dollar. Spot transaction is sell of rupees and purchase of dollar. This is the amount of the rupees to be sold for purchasing $100. So more amount of the rupees is required to be sold. So we understand that say borrowing amount is rupees 3610, 36.1 into 100. Hence, repayment of the loan will be calculated in rupee currency directly. Repayment of loan, it is principal plus interest. 3610 into 1.0575. Zero 0.115 into 6 divided by 12. So 3610 into 1.0575. So 3817.575. And 100 is provided to us in example. Otherwise, we would have taken any other amount. Option number 2. Borrow in dollar currency. So in that case, directly we can make the calculation. Repayment of loan in rupees term after 6 months. Forward contract is sell of rupees and purchase of dollar. Fine. So it is 36.10 slash 36.40. That is rupees per dollar. Okay. Sell of rupees and purchase of dollar. This is the rate which is applicable. Principal plus interest into forward exchange rate. Simple. The principal amount is 100 into rate of interest would be 2.75%. So So the rate of interest is 0.055 into 6 divided by 12. So this is the repayment of the loan multiplied with the forward exchange rate, sell of rupees and purchase of dollar. So 36.40. So 3740.1. Now we have to make a comparison. Borrow in rupee currency and borrow in dollar currency. Repayment 3817.575. $3740.10. So we'll go for the lower repayment. Second part of the question. Also determine what should be the rate of interest after 3 months to make the company indifferent between 3 months borrowing and 6 months borrowing in case of rupee currency and in case of dollar currency. That is the question. So basically friends, over here we are required to compute the forward rate for 3 months. Listen carefully all of you. Suppose today's date is 1st of January. After 3 months it is 1st of April, and after 6 months it is 30th of June. In case of rupee currency, listen carefully to me. In case of rupee currency, suppose I borrow an amount of 100 rupees for a time period of 3 months. Then in that case 100 into 12% into 3 divided by 12. My repayment of the loan after 3 months would be 103. And suppose I would have borrowed the same 100 rupees directly for 6 months. Then in that case my rate of, that is the repayment of loan would be 100 into 11.5% divided by 2 plus 100, that is 105.75. So this is 105.75. That is the repayment of the loan at the end of the 6 months. So we understand that over here the question says that what must be the rate of interest for this time period, so as to make it both of them same. What should be the rate of interest after 3 months for 3 months period, so that say both these values will become same, and that is what we understand is the forward rate, and it is calculated based on expectation theorem. So the kind of formula is like this. Please write an answer. Calculation of forward rate. It will be found like this. 1 plus 1 into rate of interest for the first 3 months is 12%. Whole into 1 plus 0.25 into x. Why 0.25? Because it is 3 months. Is equal to 1 plus 1 into 11.5% for a time period of 6 months. This is the way we are required to make this calculation. And this 0.25 is representing exactly 3 months. So it is 3 divided by 12. Please write an answer. So here this is 1.03 into 1 plus 0.25x is equal to 1.0575. So 1 plus 0.25x is equal to 1.0575 divided by 1.03. So 0.25x is equal to 1.0575 divided by 1.03. Whatever is the answer from that, 1 is deducted. Then 0.25 is transferred on the opposite side. So that is just eliminating 0.25 from here, and it is shown in the division. So divided by 0.25. So x is found as balancing figure. That is the way forward rate is calculated. 1.0575 upon 1.03. Whatever is the answer, minus 1 divided by 0.25. That comes to 10.68. So this 10.68% is the answer. For dollar currency, try to calculate the forward rate on your own. This is in technical language. After 3 months, for the next 3 months, this is the rate of interest which is expected. That is called the forward rate. So in case of dollar currency, it will be like this. For dollar currency, the 3 months rate of interest is given as 6%. So 1 plus 1 into 0.06 into 3 divided by 12. So for every $1, after 3 months it is like this, into, in a way that say further it is like this, 1 plus 0.25 into x, once again, is equal to, on the opposite side it is 6 months. So 1 plus 1 into 0.055 into 6 divided by 12. This is the way x will be found as balancing figure. Let us see. So here 6% into 0.25, that is 1.015 into 1 plus 0.25x is equal to 0.055 into 1 by 2, that is 2.75%, 1.0275. So 1 plus 0.25x is equal to 1.0275 upon 1.015. So now x is equal to 1.0275 upon 1.015. Whatever the answer that we have, from that 1 is subtracted. Then into 0.25, so that goes in the division, so divided by 0.25. This is the way x will be found as balancing figure. 1.0275 upon 1.015 minus 1 divided by 0.25 into 100 for getting answer in percentage term. So it comes to 4.9261%. This is the way we can calculate answer. One more thing that says, just I want to tell you that suppose you are not able to do first part of the question, then you may be able to do the second part of the question, because second part of the question is absolutely independent of the first part. At the same time, it may happen that say you are able to do successfully the first part and may not be the second part. So this is the way we are required to make the calculation of answer. So first of all, the decision making, if at all we borrow in rupees and if at all we borrow in dollar, then we understand that say calculation of the forward rate for rupee currency and for dollar currency. So after 3 months, for next 3 months, per annum rate of interest would be this much.